Hello. On this episode of the Weekly Polls, we want you to touch grass. Breathe in and stop listening to this podcast. Go do something with your life. Leave. Do something actually productive. Because we know that you can be more productive than us. Hey guys, welcome to the Weekly Polls, where this week we're going to be covering May 17th, already halfway through the month. Anyway, Elias, what's your first pick?
My first pick is The Avengers #1. Jed MacKay is here to give us his Avengers tales. Very excited to see a new Avengers book. This is always a sign of a new era. This is an interesting team. Mostly the same from the last run, unfortunately, but there are some new players. BP is back. Scarlet and Vision are in the team, and Sam Wilson cap instead of Steve Rogers cap.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this run. I really like Jed MacKay. I think he really pays attention to the character's history. And from what I've seen on his Twitter, he's basing this a lot off of the West Coast Avengers run. The original run, at least. So I'm really excited to see Tony, Vision, and Scarlet's characterization in particular. And I'm also interested to see BP's, because I've never seen him tackle BP before, Black Panther. So, but I love the new Black Panther design. Like, it just that little tweak of the necklace makes it pop out just a little bit more. But yeah, no, I mean, this is a this is a solid lineup. Don't get me wrong, but I'm excited. This is a new starting off point. I'm excited to start something new, and I have full trust in Jed.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to what they're going to get into. I hope it's nothing too major. I would like something more kind of down to earth.
Well, Terminus apparently is going to be the first villain.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So that's I don't know much about Terminus, to be honest. I remember hearing the name, but I don't know much outside of that.
He's a very obscure villain.
Bet.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I love the new Vision design, too.
Yeah, it's like a throwback to an older design.
Yeah, no, it's sick. That and Scarlet Witch's design. The redesigns overall just look really good.
Yeah.
First up for me is Titans #1. Dark Crisis ended, and basically the Justice League disbanded. The Justice League, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman basically gave the reins to the Titans, and so now the Titans are basically Earth's Earth's mightiest heroes. Earth's like premier superhero team. So it's kind of weird to say that, because like it felt like this was always what the plan was, but we never thought we'd actually see the day, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, I love this team. I love that this is like a mix between the older team and the Teen Titans team that we're familiar with from our generation growing up on the cartoon. So Raven, Beast Boy, Nightwing, Starfire, Cyborg, Donna Troy, and Wally West Flash. I like that they're keeping him as the Flash consistently. And this is Tom Taylor writing it, so I'm really excited. He's been writing really well with them in the Nightwing book, and Nightwing book has kind of been acting as like a backdoor pilot for this. So I'm very excited to now see him fully move into this, and then we get back to just Nightwing stuff in the Nightwing book.
It's cool to see some OG teams come back big this week in comics, Avengers and Titans.
Yeah, no, seriously, this week is stacked.
Very cool.
What's next for you?
Next up for me is Venom #19. This is featuring Flexo, everyone's favorite Golden Age robot that's been kind of repurposed for the modern age.
Did you read, by any chance, the Free Comic Book Day?
I have not, but I will read it before I read this. I'm very curious to see how they introduce this character.
It's definitely interesting. I think he has an interesting design, and the Free Comic Book Day book definitely hinted at a little bit more of a sinister tone for Flexo. it's pretty wild. But I'm really excited. Also, Venomaniacs, that's the new name for the fans.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where we go from here because we didn't get to talk about it too much on the last issue, but the big reveal was that Eddie was always fated to become the King in Black, and all roads lead to the King in Black. And basically, they're the opposite of the Beyonders. The Beyonders are the King in White, and they are the King in Black. So basically, instead of creating, they're destroying, but that is the natural cycle of life. But I think it's really interesting that we see an Eddie that's maybe even older than millennia old, like really ancient, like has gone through everything, and now basically is talking to a younger version of himself, basically at the start of the road.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see where this goes. What'd you think about that reveal? I thought that entire issue was amazing.
Yeah, no, that was the best issue in a while. I was sort of getting tired of the Bedlam stuff, so I think this really brought it back to center. So I'm hoping that 19 continues that trend.
I was just gonna say I like that Bedlam now is gonna be his own character again instead of just being Eddie.
Yeah. And I'm curious what's with the banner in this issue. A new symbiote enters the fray after a brutal battle with the Gold Goblin.
Yeah, that's
I don't
weird.
know.
Usually we don't get banners like.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. So.
Also, the text feels really small.
Yeah, no, it's super bunched
like it's
up.
just badly formatted.
Yeah.
Like they have a little bit of extra room on the sides. I don't know why they didn't take it.
True.
Okay.
What's next up for you?
Next up for me is Batman Brave and the Bold. So Batman Urban Legends is basically over, and they decided to rename it to Batman Brave and the Bold, which I honestly think is fine because Brave and the Bold has always been a team up book, really, for Batman. So making it like short stories actually makes completely sense. So I'm excited to see where we go from here because not only are we getting some interesting writers and artists, but some interesting stories. Tom King and Mitch Gerads are going to be doing a 4-part mini series about the first time Joker and Batman met. And then Dan Mora is going to make his writing debut in a Batman black and white short stories.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I know, right? And then Ed Brisson, who's doing Batman Incorporated, and Jeff Spokes, who did the Wildstorm 30th anniversary special, are going to be talking about Director Bones and Stormwatch. So I mean, I love Director Bones. He's one of my favorite characters, like obscure characters. Do you know who he is by any chance?
I don't think so.
So
I mean, I'm sure I've seen him, but
he's so weird. So he's this man. He's this black man that basically has completely transparent skin. So everything about him is transparent except for his bones.
I see.
All people see is just a skeleton.
Okay.
And it's very funny. He has a smoking habit and everything. It's so
Mr.
funny.
Bones. That's funny.
Mr. Director Bones. But yeah, he is basically the head of the DEO, the Department of Extra Normal Operations, which is the equivalent to SHIELD, I guess is the best way to put it. And he has some super strength, but also one of his abilities that's really cool is his entire skin is just laced with cyanide. So if he touches you, you just die. So you'll always see him like wearing gloves and shit, like being very much avoiding touching people. But he's just one of those characters where it's like a grizzled old veteran. So it's really cool. I really like his characterization so much. So to see more of him is always fun. And then nice. The fourth story is going to be Christopher Cantwell and Javier Rodriguez. So yeah, no, this is a great start for
that's kind of crazy.
A bunch of like short stories. Like I'm really excited, and 64 pages, so it's going to be pretty hefty too.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
No, this is.
I hope there are
awesome.
A lot of team ups. Like I hope there are a lot of weird pairings with Batman. That's the most I can hope for from a Brave and the Bold book. So
exactly,
yeah, this is exciting.
What's next for you?
Next up for me is Guardians of the Galaxy number 2. The tone of number 1 definitely took a different direction than what I was expecting from this. Groot Fall is coming and has shown to be very destructive. Basically, something has happened to Groot. We don't know what, but he is capable of consuming and overtaking planets now.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucked up. So this has
He
been
is.
a cool direction for the Guardians to take. I'm happy that it's not just a lighthearted book. It's actually very serious.
Yeah, I'm after watching the film. No spoilers, but I'm very happy with the film, and I'm very happy that this is kind of leaning a little bit into the more serious tone of that film, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love seeing the Guardians be taken more seriously, but I also love this like cowboy aesthetic that they kind of have to them, where they're kind of like just on the run, trying to do their best, but they don't really have like a plan. Also, I want to know what happened to Rocket. We didn't get to see Rocket at all. I kept on expecting to see Rocket, and we just kept on not getting him. But I also, yeah, what transformed Groot into a whole planet-sized eating monster? And we also got a hint about Nova. Nova in X-Men Red discusses Groot and is like, yeah, I don't know where the Guardians are. Like, he straight up says, like, I don't know where they are. I heard some rumblings, but other than that, I don't know much. So not even, like, the Nova Corps is, like, aware of what's happening, which I think is going to be really interesting when they get to the point where it's, like, whenever Groot is fixed, he's going to probably be held on trial for killing multiple planets.
Yeah.
So, either way, very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Different looks and different tone for everybody, so pretty cool.
What is your defense? I am Groot.
Yeah.
He's in the courtroom.
Yeah.
It's like, do you swear upon to speak the truth and only the truth? I am Groot. Yeah, no, we get it. That's your name. I am Groot. Okay, next up for me is Superboy, Man of Tomorrow. Really, really cool. The art is really, really kinetic. I know some people didn't like that Connor was drawn a little bit more young-like, but honestly, I'm fine with it. But it's been so long since we had a good Connor story, and I'm so happy to report that this was good. Like, he basically felt like he wasn't being appreciated on Earth. Or not being appreciated. He wasn't doing enough on Earth. Like, every time he would do something, Superman or John would, like, do it before he could react. And so he decides to go into outer space. He gets teleported to a planet where the dominatrix... no, wait. What are they called? Dominators. Dominators
Dominatrixes.
That's what I was going to say. The Dominators are basically trying to take over a planet. And recently they've gotten a lot of cloning tech. So they've been fusing different characters together. So it's been very interesting to see Connor basically fight against other clones of different characters. It wasn't anything like any characters that we would know personally. But they want to analyze Connor to be like, how do they make stable Kryptonian DNA to clone?
Yeah.
Because that's a rarity. And the only person that's been able to do that has been Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
So, very interesting. I also really, really love that they specify that he has telekinesis. He has tactile telekinesis, because there's a lot of always confusion about the fact that, like, Connor has telekinesis. He does not have super strength. What he does is when he grabs something, he wraps it with his telekinesis and then lifts it with that. It looks like he has super strength, and that's the point. It's supposed to be. That's why he looks like he has all of Superman's abilities, because he's literally just using telekinesis to fly, lift stuff up, and protect himself. But that's also why he has a different range of abilities. Like, he can crush people just by themselves. Like, he doesn't need to actually touch them. Yeah, no. So it's really cool. I really like the way that they're drawing that. And I love this new design for Connor. This look for Connor is a perfect meld between the two. Overall, great start. I'm really excited.
Cool. Nice. Very nice. Next up for me is Fantastic Four number 7. big old legacy issue 700 right here. 700 issues of FF. Pretty crazy. The last issue was very cool. Sue successfully blocked out the sun for, 3 days?
3 days, yeah.
To kill this invasive bacteria. And she was successful, but obviously people took notice, and some of those people were S.H.I.E.L.D., and S.H.I.E.L.D. was not very pleased with the knowledge that she could do this at any time, and that makes her a threat. So
I don't blame them, to be honest.
No, definitely not.
Especially because they didn't give prior notice to them.
Yeah. No.
She was just like, yep, okay. Like, imagine you're just like an agency, like, supposed to protect world peace, and then all of a sudden you just learn that, like, part of your country just got fucking blacked out.
But it was pretty crazy, but I kind of like that FF is kind of doing the tough tasks that no one else will do. That's kind of what their status quo is right now. And no matter how people feel about them, they're going to get that shit done. So it's a pretty cool direction. I'm not sure how Doom is going to come into this, but this looks like it's going to be, a big kind of anniversary celebration sort of situation, but hopefully it also does advance the plot a little bit.
Yeah, I've been loving this FF series. It's been so consistent, so fun. Especially with how, like, each issue you can kind of just jump in without prior context of the last, which I think is very interesting.
It's helpful.
It really is. It
for
really
readers.
It just makes it so easy. And these covers have been amazing. These Alex Ross covers. But yeah, no, hype.
What's next for you?
Next up for me is Ice Cream Man number 35. Few books will consistently deliver like Ice Cream Man, and it's been a minute since we've gotten Ice Cream Man, I will say. Let me check how long it's been. It's been a while. Since February. February had a really interesting story about two homeless men, and the Ice Cream Man was barely in the story. He was actually a rumor that the hobos kept telling to each other.
Huh.
That was like the joke was that, like, do you believe in the Ice Cream Man? And it was like a whole thing. But I'm really excited for this because this seems like it's taking a play on the Book of Monsters and the Book of Evil and stuff like that, and those like bestiary type of fiction novels with an Ice Cream Man twist. That cover just looks so weird.
Yeah,
it's
a
wild.
Good cover choice.
But yeah, no, I'm hyped. Ice Cream Man always delivers. Even when I don't know the plot, I'm always excited to read more from them.
So they've kind of been taking their time with issues. They've sort of been spacing them out a little bit, or
they took a break. They were pretty consistent for a while.
Okay.
Actually, no. Actually, no. You're right. Yeah, they have been taking. They've been kind of taking like 2 months in between each issue. I just realized.
Okay.
I guess I just didn't notice.
That's cool.
Yeah, because they went May, July, and then they jumped to September, and then they jumped to December, and then they jumped to February, and now it's May.
Word.
But still, like, hey, consistency. That's all I care about, man.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have not had a single substitute artist for this series is wild.
That's
also
cool. Wow.
I feel like not enough books keep the same writer and the same artist consistently throughout
Especially
the entire
for an
series.
anthology series. That's very surprising.
Exactly. Like, very, very, very surprising. What's your top pick?
My top pick for this week, I'm very excited to read Batman Superman World's Finest number 15. Issue 14 was awesome. Really gave me a twist that I was not expecting. This is the vengeance of the Ultra Morpho. So Ivo has basically created this insane Amazo that seems to specifically be built to deal with Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
Sorry, Batman, Superman, Robin, and Metamorpho. It's got kryptonite in it. It's got all this shit. The design is fucking awesome.
It's so cool.
Yeah, really awesome. So that reveal was amazing. I'm just super excited to see where this story goes and what's going on with the Metal Men, because that's also that was kind of terrifying. Uh,
Yeah, I really want to know what's happening with the Metal Men because they're
Yeah.
one of my favorite obscure superhero teams.
yeah,
So I mean, I love Mark Waid touching any of those characters because it breathes new life into them.
yeah. I hope they play a part in this story.
Yeah. So my top pick is Little Monsters 13. It's finally come the conclusion to this phenomenal book, and I love how this book, the ending, the cover is just Rami being engulfed by red. Um, I think it's very interesting. I love the art for it. It always looks extremely watercolored. But huge twist reveal that basically anyone that's a vampire that consumes human blood begins aging. They no longer become immortal. So now we know that Rami and the ones that didn't drink the blood of the humans are now going to stay the same age while the other vampires are going to start aging. And I'm interested to see where this goes because they kind of become bloodthirsty and chaotic, but they're still family.
Hmm.
So now the question is, they're going to see them age. While they age slowly, but they're still going to see them age, and eventually it's going to get to the point where they're not going to know what to do. So I'm really interested. Rami has been one of those characters where he says a lot without saying anything because he's mute. But yeah, no, the series has been phenomenal. I'm really excited to reread this when it's all together condensed in one book again.
Cool. Yeah, this team looks fantastic. I mean, Lemire and Nagayan, just that seems like a match made in heaven. So it's very cool. I'll definitely get around to reading this whole arc.
Yeah, it's cool. Miniseries, man. Sometimes they just kill it. Anyway, this has been the weekly pulls for May 17th. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, subscribe, support your local comic shop, and read comics. Till next time.